This week in church, we looked at the passage from Colossians 3, where Paul tells us that there are things in our spiritual wardrobe that we are to put away from us, to cast off like they're filthy clothes. And then there are things in our spiritual wardrobe that we are to put on. And one of the things that we are to put off in Colossians 3 and verse 9 says, "Do not lie to one another, since you laid aside the old self with its evil practices." And that phrase, "do not lie," in a more literal sense means stop lying. I think it's interesting that Paul made the assumption that we do lie to one another. And so that lying to one another is part of our old life and something that we need to put aside. And that might cause you to think, well, I generally try to be truthful. I'm not somebody who really goes around lying to other people. But I think there are ways in our Christian walk that we lie without overtly just telling a falsehood. For example, when we act like we have no struggles in our life, when we act like we have it all together, that's a way that we lie to one another. When we feel like we have to keep up a certain level of a certain lifestyle that we maybe are going into debt in order to do, we are lying to one another. When we brag about our kids in a way that is intended to sort of make them seem superior to other people's children, that's a way that we lie to one another. And so I would encourage us today to look at our lives and to think about how authentic am I being as a believer, particularly in this context of with one another, with other believers. How willing am I to be vulnerable in telling the truth about my life? How willing am I to be transparent when I'm talking about my struggles in my faith? Do I feel like I have to come across like everything's a-okay in my life, nothing's ever been better? Or do I feel like I can say, I'm having a hard time, I'm having a hard day, it's been a hard week. Here's something that I need prayer for. Let's be truthful with one another so that we can pray for one another, so we can encourage one another, so we can come alongside one another, and we can grow together in our walk with Christ.